Hey everyone, welcome back. In our last explainer, we tackled the fundamental building blocks of networking, things like ports, sockets, and IP addresses. But today, we're uncovering the invisible, highly distributed engine that makes all of that raw infrastructure actually usable for the rest of us. Okay, let's dive right into this. We literally type domains like google.com or connect to AWS endpoints every single day. But since our underlying routing infrastructure relies strictly on numerical IP addresses, how exactly is that instantaneous translation happening under the hood? Like, who is actually doing all the heavy lifting here? Well, here's our roadmap for today to figure that out. 1. The human problem. 2. What is DNS? 3. The DNS lookup process. 4. Understanding DNS records. And finally, 5. Cloud, security, and scalability. Let's jump in. Starting off with Section 1, the human problem, or basically why memorizing the internet simply wouldn't work. So we all know the fundamental problem here, right? Humans love memorable, human-friendly names like google.com. But machines, routers strictly require machine-readable IP addresses, like 142. whatever, just to communicate. IPv4 and IPv6 addresses are absolutely fantastic for routing network packets, but they're terrible for human memory. The sheer scale of mapping billions of domains to constantly shifting IP endpoints is a monumental engineering challenge. So, to fix that, we needed a translation system, and that brings us to Section 2. What is DNS, the invisible engine? Enter the Domain Name System, or DNS. You can think of it as the Internet's decentralized directory service. Its entire job is to convert those human-friendly domain names directly into machine-readable IP addresses. And honestly, without this continuously running translation service operating quietly in the background, modern web browsing would literally grind to a complete halt. Now, you've probably heard the classic phone book analogy. You know the person's name, but you need the directory to find their phone number. It's a great way to grasp the concept. But actually, scratch that. It falls a bit short in reality, because DNS isn't just one single static, dusty old book. It is a highly dynamic, globally distributed database that handles trillions of queries every single day without failing. So how does it actually do that? Let's move to Section 3, the DNS lookup process, which really plays out like a detective's investigation. When you type a domain, your machine kicks off a very precise step-by-step investigation. Step 1, your browser checks its local cache to see if it already remembers the IP. If it doesn't, we move to Step 2, contacting a DNS resolver, which is usually run by your internet service provider. This resolver acts as your lead detective. In Step 3, it contacts a root server. Now, the root server might not know the final answer, but it knows exactly where to look, so it points the resolver to Step 4, contacting the top-level domain, or TLD server, like the server for .coms. That narrows things down, pointing the resolver to Step 5, the authoritative server. This server holds the definitive final answer and hands the IP address back to the resolver, which in Step 6 finally returns it to your browser so the connection can happen. And you know what the absolute wildest part of this massive, globally distributed multi-server journey is? It usually happens in just a matter of milliseconds. Milliseconds! This is exactly why DNS directly dictates your internet speed and latency. If this lookup process drags for some reason, your entire browsing experience is going to drag right along with it. All right, let's keep going. Section 4, understanding DNS records, or the different directory departments. And this brilliantly illustrates that DNS isn't just for routing basic websites. It's incredibly versatile. Sure, you have your standard A and AAA records, mapping domains to IPv4 and IPv6 addresses. You've got CNAME records acting as aliases. But really look at the MX, or mail exchange record. This proves that entire global email infrastructures depend completely on DNS routing to function. Add in TXT records, which are absolutely crucial for security verification, and you start to see that DNS stores way more than just simple website addresses. Let's zoom out now for our final section, cloud, security, and scalability, to really grasp the global impact of this foundational service. So, modern cloud architecture, it would flat out collapse without DNS. We're talking load balancers, API endpoints, internal microservice discoveries, CDNs. They all constantly perform internal DNS lookups just to route traffic properly. It is the undeniable backbone of cloud-native systems. And to put that into perspective, look at how it powers scalability. Because DNS acts as a middleman, An organization can literally change out their physical servers, move their entire application to a different data center halfway across the world, and upgrade their hardware, all completely behind the scenes. The domain name remains exactly the same. The DNS record just updates automatically, and you, as the user, never even notice a blip. It's a real game changer for engineering flexibility. However, because DNS is an invisible global necessity, attackers frequently target it. We have to look at this objectively. Any system this critical is just going to be a prime target, right? We see risks like DNS spoofing or malicious redirection, where attackers manipulate records to send users to fake sites. There's phishing, domain hijacking, and even DNS tunneling, where bad actors literally hide malicious data inside standard DNS queries. That's why continuous monitoring of DNS behavior is absolutely critical for cybersecurity teams. Okay, so let's lock in our mental model by clearing up 4 common beginner mistakes. Number 1, browsers strictly need IPs, not names. Number 2, DNS is definitely not one central server, it's a massive distributed system. Number 3, local caching is the unsung hero saving huge amounts of global bandwidth. And finally, number 4, DNS is for way more than just websites. It powers the whole shebang from emails to APIs to the entire cloud. So we've seen how DNS translates human-friendly names into machine-readable addresses so your computer can find servers anywhere in the world. But I want to leave you with one final, provocative thought. Your computer actually needs an IP address just to participate in this whole lookup process. So how did your device automatically get its own IP address the exact second you connected to the Wi-Fi? Like, who handed it out? Well, that is a fascinating mystery, and it's exactly what we're going to uncover in our next explainer on DHCP. Thanks so much for learning with me today, and I'll catch you next time.